You are watching BBC News. Let's get more on our top story now. The Palestinian president says only the US can prevent an Israeli attack on Rafah, where more than 1 million have fled. Efforts are underway to negotiate a truce between Israel and Hamas. The US Secretary of State is heading to Riyadh, where he will meet Arab leaders to discuss the situation. Let's speak now to Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, President of the Middle East Policy Council and a former US ambassador. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you.
So Anthony Blinken on his way. What do you think he's hoping to achieve?
Well, he's got a tough road ahead. He's got to convince the players that he's meeting in Riyadh of several things. Number one, he's got to convince the Saudis that there is a deal ahead, that the U.S. security guarantees are going to make it worthwhile for them to continue forward. He's got to convince other Gulf states, the Emirates, Qatar, perhaps Kuwait and others, that there is a deal achievable that will allow them to put investment into the Gaza Strip for that day after. He's got to convince all of them that the United States can bring the Israelis up to scratch, that can get a deal done. And right now, the wild card is Prime Minister Netanyahu and how much he does want to get a deal, primarily to bring the hostages home, or how much does he believe that this continued conflict helps him remain in power.
OK, that's quite a long list. That's quite the list he's got there. What do you rate his chances of achieving that?
A lot of it is going to hinge on two things. The amount of pressure, number one, that the Israeli leadership is feeling, and the amount of pressure that the Hamas leadership is feeling. For Prime Minister Netanyahu, it is those hostages. And there have been reports that deals were closed and he's pulled the negotiators back. The demonstrations that are in the street saying, get those hostages, do a deal. They've been out there, but they've been out there a while. And he has shown himself quite willing to resist pressure, domestic and international. For Hamas, the pressure is also building. The devastation of the Gaza Strip, the incredible suffering that the Palestinian people are under right now, and that it has not improved appreciably, even after the United States said to the Israelis, change your policy, get more aid in, get more food in. Aid organizations and Palestinians are saying that has not been followed through on. So if they don't do a deal, then it is entirely likely that they too could not remain in power. And what both sides need, sorry.
No, I'm afraid we have to leave it there, unfortunately. Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, thank you so much for coming on the programme. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.